it's so hard. Like being a Gen Z person, like as someone who grew up on the internet and who always kind of was on the internet, like I was kind of a sad child. I spent a lot of time on the internet and whimsical, living in my own head, living in my own world. I was a Tumblr girl. I had a Tumblr blog. I learned HTML just to make my Tumblr blog look the way I wanted to. That's inspired my love of photography and curating and aesthetics and feeds and things like that. Just like digital content creation, right? Just seeing what it's turned into and, looking at what the CEO of Instagram has said about how AI is changing the platform, Meta training its generative AI on our data, on our content. The whole thing just feels like it's getting away from us like really, really quickly. And like, I don't know about you, but like, it's scary. Like, it's scary and it's disheartening and it's disappointing, honestly. I think that that ties into what people are feeling so nostalgic about 2016 for, is because 2016 is like Instagram was like a new thing. People from Vine were going over to Instagram because Instagram allowed you to post short videos, the square. Yeah, there were no reels or anything like that. I don't know about y'all, but I fucking hate reels. I hate short form content. I don't hate TikTok. I will say I don't hate TikTok. I think TikTok is a little disturbing. It used to be like an app for kids to dance and lip sync to, but then it became like a mass surveillance technology and like information harvesting and like stealing your private information, which is like so weird when you really think about it. Like, why is an app for kids collecting that much data about you? The whole 2016 like nostalgia shit, like, is probably because, like, for a couple reasons. Obviously there's like the political aspect of it, but then there's like social media, and it's like that is something that's so integral to Gen Z. And I don't understand why people try to act like it's not. This is a Gen Z thing. Like, this is what Gen Z grew up on. I was in high school in 2016. I graduated in 2017. I was a junior in high school. I get it. Like, I get why people have nostalgia for it, but like the biggest thing to me that jumps out is like how different social media was compared to how it is now. It was pre-Trump, but that doesn't mean there weren't still problems. Like, there were still a lot of issues in society and in the country. And in many ways, I believe that Trump really just like brought all of those things to the forefront. And obviously it was pre-pandemic and all that too, but like that was the last time people were really just in the world. Once Instagram came on the scene and then TikTok in 2018, social media just became this, and I heard somebody say it very eloquently the other day on TikTok, but she said, isn't it crazy how social media is basically like the cigarettes of our generation?
Have you ever realized that social media is low key the cigarettes of our generation? Because studies have been showing that Gen Z is actually one of the first generations where smoking is at historically low levels, which is like amazing, But then why is like depression and anxiety at all time highs? It's because we never got rid of the addiction. We just replaced the addiction of cigarettes with social media. Like, think about it. Social media causes confidence issues, anxiety, depression, fries our attention span. The scariest part to me is that with cigarettes, the consequences of it is like super obvious in their health. Like, smoking is harming you versus social media where it's like almost invisible. You wake up, you check your phone, and immediately you're scrolling, letting strangers into your day, letting it decide your mood for the day. I don't know. I'm just like so passionate about this because no other generation has ever had to deal with this level of constant access, comparison, perfectionism. Like, no wonder why we are the most depressed generation.
In every other area of our lives, like we're not really smoking cigarettes. We're not really like, we're in the gym. We have relatively healthy lifestyles compared to other generations. We're not drinking and eating a bunch of garbage. Like, we're not eating as much fast food and things like that. It's social media. Like, that's the bane of our existence. Many of us have this problem, but we don't act like we do. It doesn't seem like an issue because it's so widely done, so socially acceptable, so normalized that nobody really sees it as a problem anymore. And that's what's disturbing to me. It's like, I remember in 2016 we would share memes and talk about them at the lunch table, or like the internet was an aid to real life. Now it's like real life is secondary. Like, maybe this isn't gonna resonate with everyone. Maybe this is like, maybe I don't believe that it's just me. I know that a lot of people like on the internet feel this way, and a lot of people that I know in real life also feel this way. And just a lot of people in our generation in general or like zillennials feel this way. Even some millennials, even older generations now too. You should see some of these older people on Facebook Reels, okay? Like on YouTube Shorts. Okay, they love them some YouTube Shorts. Like it's addictive across the board. I think it was especially harmful for Gen Z and zillennials because we were in a crucial developmental stage when these platforms hit and became really prominent. For reference, you can check out Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. He has data in there about like mental health crises and young girls, you know, prepubescent girls and adolescents that were admitted into psych wards and things like that because their mental health was getting really bad because of Instagram and things like that. So it really was like my generation. We were the guinea pigs, right, for an unknown technology and the effects of it. And I think that 2016 was just like, it was just the innocent time where like me and my friends in high school, friends, I call them friends, but like I don't speak to most of these people anymore. But I just remember we would share memes or send each other videos on Instagram or whatever. It wasn't broken, like the internet wasn't broken up into all these sub niches and subcultures, and you just did what you wanted to do. Like it was not that serious. It was not like these days it feels like just like this pressure, like at least for me, I don't know. I mean, as a creative person, it feels like there's this pressure to use social media. It feels like there's this pressure to use these apps and like make these just ultra curated content and make things look, it's like in the old days, it was pretty easy to make something. People had very low standards. Everything was low res. Nobody had the skills, right, to make to like make actual photography or make actual art. Like a lot of people just were not doing that. So if you were a person who was on Tumblr or you were on Instagram, I can imagine that that was an incredible feeling to just like feel like you were really the only person in that lane. But now it's millions of fucking people, it's millions of creators. It just feels so, I don't know, like I remember when the internet, like in 2016, was just this wild, wild west, this like untapped thing where it was still very new. People didn't really understand it. And when there were viral moments, it was like so special. You know, that's another thing too, is like everyone knew the same memes almost. That's more like throughout the early 2010s, like everyone knew the same memes. Like in 2012, right? Everyone knew about Gangnam Style. That was a cultural moment. But then in the late 2010s, like 2016, that's when we did start seeing the rise of like individual creators or influencers and, you know, people like Jeffree Star or like Shane Dawson, like that whole crew. Beauty gurus were a really big thing. James Charles and Manny and like all those people. There were still niches, but like there were just these big cultural moments that felt like everyone was on the same page, you know? But now it feels like the internet is just this lonely place where you might be in the corner with like 5 other people, and then like the rest of the internet is very obsessively caught up in this one specific Twitch streamer or celebrities, or like everyone's got like an obsessive niche. It's not just like, oh, we're all like in different niches. Like, no, it kind of feels like we're all just doing our own thing. Maybe occasionally there's overlap, but it's really, I find it, I don't know about you, but I find it really hard to even be in multiple niches because my algorithm just sends me the same stuff. Like, I like movies, I like music, I like lots of different musicians, I like a lot of different art styles, and I like content creators. I even like Twitch streamers. I like Burleezy. Like, I like a lot of different stuff, but I don't ever see that stuff on my feed. Like Instagram, I get one type of content. YouTube, I get a different type of content. Like, but it's not like I don't engage with this stuff, and it's not like I wouldn't. Not to say that obsessively being online and watching content is good for you, but like, I just feel like the algorithms don't understand us. They're trying too hard to make us addicted, and we're no longer being entertained. But I guess that's the point. Like, it's not about what we want. It's about what they need to keep making money. It's not necessarily an evil thing or a wrong thing. It just is what it is. In general, I think that's just unfortunate, and I think that's like the sad part about how Instagram is now. Like, Instagram is really the biggest thing that comes to my mind when I think about 2016 nostalgia, is because like as a freelancer, I have seen how chaotic it's gotten, like how obsessed people are with growing their Instagram. And let me just tell you, bro, it's hard to grow on Instagram unless you're making reels, and I'm the type of person that does not want to make reels. I don't want to make reels. It's not for that. That's not what Instagram is for. That was never the point of Instagram. It was a photo sharing app, you know? And like I don't want videos. I don't want to see nobody fucking reels. I don't want to see your reels. The only account that I really want to see content from is More Perfect Union. They have a great YouTube channel with long form content. The only real reason they post on Instagram is to promote their longer pieces that are on YouTube. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see dancing girls. I don't want to see long process videos that condense 9 hours of work, maybe even 9 years of work into 30 seconds. Fuck that, bro. I hate what short form content has done to our perception of reality. Something that takes years to do, months to construct, to craft, is just something to mindlessly consume in 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Fuck that. And we're reducing the hard work of seasoned professionals, talented artists, and creators that have spent years honing their craft and making them tap dance for an algorithm and try to win people over, win eyeballs over, and try to please don't scroll, please look, please pay attention, please watch what I'm doing, please care, please get like begging. Why are we fucking humiliating people like this, making them beg for attention? And one could say maybe the internet was always like that. It wasn't. I know for a fact it wasn't. I had a YouTube channel back during the pandemic and I was effortlessly getting views. Like people cared. Like it was so much easier. It was so easy to get people to care before like the algorithms became what they are today. You could just be yourself. Like remember when vlogs were a thing? Like I used to watch so many vlogs in 2016, right? You could literally start a vlog channel and just be talking about your life, and that was enough. But now it's like you have to add value because they're just like we're just scrolling looking for the next hit, right? And we've all done it. I'm guilty of it too. But it's like the way that structure, that framework, it just makes everything so reduced. It reduces everything that has meaning into something that is meaningless, into something that's just an advertisement. And they've convinced us that we're being entertained, that we're connecting with each other when we're just watching ads all day. You know, some people are in their short form content bag. Some people love making reels. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Unless you are a video editor at heart and that's your thing, good on you. But like, I don't know a single artist or creative, performing artist, visual artist, musician, designer who enjoys it. Even coaches, even business owners that I work with that pay me to manage their socials tell me they hate social media, and if they could have it their way, they would never have to deal with it again. I don't understand a world in which most people don't like it, but most people also spend a significant amount of their day on it. That doesn't make any damn sense to me, okay? That is a culture that is addicted, is it not? You know, if you don't like your behavior, but you keep doing it anyway, does that not read like addiction? And with what we already know about these algorithms being addictive, like them coming out and saying that documentary on Netflix, The Social Dilemma, tech CEOs and software developers and people like that coming forward and telling you to your face that they engineered these algorithms to be addictive, to keep you on the app as long as possible. Why are we doing this? You know, it just doesn't make sense. It's cognitive dissonance and it's addiction. It's just depressing. There's this TED Talk where he breaks it down.
So that leaves you with 334 months. What is worth investing it in? Now, I would be willing to bet that scrolling through TikTok, binge watching Netflix, and playing video games probably did not come to mind. But today, the average 18-year-old in the United States is on pace to spend 93% of their remaining free time looking at a screen.
First of all, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? Like their screen time is between like 7 and 9 hours a day. And it went up during the pandemic and it has stayed up since the pandemic. Basically, the concern about that is at that rate, we're on track to lose a decade of our lives, if not more, because everyone's different. I know people who've gone up to 12 hours a day or more, like at the height of their mental illness struggles, or, you know, something was going on in their life, or a pandemic, like whatever. But like on average, whatever remaining time you have outside of school and work is going to the internet, to watching videos, to scrolling your feed. These kids are probably just scrolling TikTok. If that's the case, it just like, it's even more of a backdrop to like just feel so shitty about the present moment and long to kind of have a redo, right? Like if I could go back to 2016, I honestly knowing my stubborn ass would probably not do anything differently, and I probably wouldn't even listen to myself. If I told myself to throw that fucking phone away that I begged my parents for, like write with a pen and paper instead of writing fan fiction on Wattpad or whatever the hell I was doing back then, I probably wouldn't have listened. And I honestly will say I was writing. Like, I wasn't just scrolling TikTok. What's so sad about this is that when I was in high school, I was using the internet for something productive and wholesome. And I was someone that me now respects. But who I became as a result of these addictive algorithms and spending way too much of my time online, I now look back at who I was in 2016 and I feel jealous and I miss that person, because that was me before logging 12 plus hours of screen time during the pandemic. That was me before the internet became fused with my identity and fused with my soul. And like, I'm coming out and saying that because I know that there are thousands, if not millions, of other people that feel that way, but are just too embarrassed to say it. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. I hate social media, but I can't stop using it.